What traits do all top performing sales reps have in common? Is it something they're born with? Or can you learn and develop these skills, even if you're the least intelligent of the bunch? Well, in my career, I have interviewed over 3,000 salespeople. And after hiring the best I could find and firing the ones that didn't work out, these are the 13 traits of the most successful. Before we jump into the first one, let me give you a quick structure on how I'm going to go through these. I'm first going to give you the trait, then I'm going to give you a definition, and then finally share with you my experience working with top performing sales reps who have this trait. Number one, resilience, or the ability to bounce back. When encountering difficult situations, how quickly is the person able to bounce back to their current baseline level of attitude or charm? Simply put, the top performing sales reps that I've had the pleasure of working with do an incredible job bouncing back when they encounter a situation that isn't ideal. I find time and time again that top performers have a core baseline attitude or charm or personality that when they get rattled from, they go back to very, very quickly. They don't dwell on difficult things, and that makes them perform very well in sales because there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. Number two, they do not seek approval. They don't have a deep-rooted desire to be accepted by everyone that they encounter. So look, it's not that having a high need for approval or seeking approval makes you a bad salesperson. All I'm saying is that the best salespeople that I've ever had the pleasure of working with do not give a fuck about what other people think about them. And it is so incredibly obvious when you meet them, and they generally are the top earners at the organizations that they're at. So it's an important trait to think about. How deeply rooted is your sense of being liked by everyone that you're around? And how is that helping you? But also, how is that hurting you? And it might be something to reflect upon if you are a sales rep, but it's definitely something to look for if you're hiring one. Number three, they deeply care that the other person gets what they actually need. They want to make sure that they're exceeding the expectations of everyone they speak with, even if that means receiving criticism. Because top performing sales reps don't typically have strong need for approval, they're not looking to be validated through every interaction, they're more likely to ask those questions that are a bit deeper and also could lead to losing a sale. Those deeper questions are really what uncovers the drivers behind any decision, and knowing those drivers allows you to properly position your product or service as a true solution to that problem. The less need for approval, the more likely you are to do this, which is why it's such an important trait of top performers. Number four, curiosity. They are not concerned about looking dumb in the pursuit of a deeper understanding. The best salespeople in any industry are the ones that are generally the most curious about their buyer and the most curious about their industry. I know several people who make over $1 million in just commission. And what do they all have in common? They are deeply curious and deep experts in the industry that they service. That curiosity drove them to a deeper understanding of the problems that their buyers have, which allows them to relate very closely with them. Number five, they own outcomes. Them being successful is a direct result of the effort that they put in. Now, with top performers, this goes both ways. If something goes really well, it was all them. If something goes poorly, it was all them. The best salespeople I know take radical accountability for their performance, and because of that, they don't have a high tolerance for wishy-washy activities. They want to focus on what moves the needle, and you see this level of drive in top performing salespeople, and it comes out in the interview process because they are very, very honest about their own abilities, both when it works and when it doesn't. They don't blame others. They blame themselves, but they also give themselves all the credit. Which leads me to number six, they are extremely money motivated. They heavily value their own income earning potential. Now, when it comes to temperament or personality of top performing salespeople, they come in all different types. There's more reserved, introverted people, there's more extroverted people. And you can argue that extroverted people tend to do better in sales, and that's probably true, but I've seen them in all types. But one thing that they all have in common, whether they're very expressive about it or not, is they are money motivated. They want to earn a great living. If they weren't so money motivated, they'd probably be in leadership because you generally make less money, right? But the folks who really do well and they excel in the sales career, who want to make a lot of money and are willing to do the work to earn it. Number seven here, they're charming. They get along with a wide range of personality types, and people generally like being around them. The best salespeople that I've worked with are really fun to be around. I enjoy their presence, they're usually a good time, and we have a lot in common. But I also see that when they interact with everybody. I'm a salesperson, of course I enjoy getting around with salespeople. But the salespeople that are the best are the ones who can get along with everybody. So if you are interviewing a bunch of salespeople and they just don't get along with somebody on your team, there's probably a reason why. And it's not a good one. The best salespeople are really that chameleon. It's not that they're manipulative, it's just they have a broad range of interests and they're able to get along with a broad range of personality types. Number 8 here, and this is a unique one. They are quick to figure out what's important. In a sales context, they're very quick to identify the main drivers of the prospect's ideal outcome. The best salespeople I know really listen well, and they understand things from the prospect's perspective. And that information allows them to figure out what exactly moves the needle here. And that allows them not only to speak better to their prospect, but often highlight ways of thinking or different challenges that the prospect might not even had considered in the first place. And that's such a unique quality that you see in top performing salespeople that if you're hiring some, you should really be looking out for it. Number 9 here, they are industry experts. They tend to stick to one industry that they know very well, and they go very deep and have a great understanding of how that entire industry works. The best salespeople that I've met have such deep expertise in the world of the people that they sell to that they could go to a local meetup group of those people and none of them would know that this is a salesperson. They would all think that it's somebody in the exact same role as them. Now, today in modern ages, a lot of people jump from one job to the other. But with doing that, they also jump from one industry to another. In my opinion, that's a mistake. Best salespeople stick to one industry and they understand both the breadth that industry has to offer and the depth that it has to offer. So when you're looking for salespeople to hire, I would strongly consider their level of industry expertise to make sure that they speak the language of your buyers, because that's going to dramatically increase their performance. Intelligent, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Now, all salespeople, for the most part, start off using scripts and templates and really trying to be by the book. But as these top performers start breaking out in their performance, what you'll find is that differentiator that they have over their peers is their ability to go off script. And they're intelligent, they understand what the people are dealing with, what they're talking about, and they're able to make broader connections that not every salesperson is able to do. And I find that the top performing salespeople are incredibly intelligent, but don't get confused. It doesn't mean if someone's not very intelligent that they can't be a good salesperson. It's not what I'm saying at all. Oftentimes I prefer to hire somebody who's less intelligent to do the job for various reasons. But the thing that I have noticed is that top performing salespeople who well and exceed everybody else, they have a higher level of intelligence and it helps them out quite a bit. Number 11, they're quirky. They have weird or unexpected traits, which really makes them stand out and be memorable. The best salespeople that I've ever met are different. They have a wide range of interests and hobbies. They're a bit quirky. There's something weird about them, right? They might have a unique interest, like maybe they're obsessed with Magic the Gathering, or they have really interesting hobbies. Like I once hired a sales rep who was really into snow machine racing, and he had done a snow machine race from one side of Alaska all the way to the other. They're just different. They have quirkiness to their personality. They're a little bit goofy, and it's worth pointing out here because it makes them more fun, but more importantly, it makes them more memorable. And often in sales situations where the prospect is dealing with a lot of different salespeople, you're going to buy from who you know, like, and trust. And there's something about that quirky personality that builds trust, makes people feel like they know you at a deeper level. And that's something that ultimately makes you more memorable and more likely that people are going to want to buy from you. Number 12 here, they're active listeners. They pay close attention to what people tell them and ask very relevant questions based on the context of the conversation. The best salespeople I know are incredibly good listeners, and they're also folks who will call out things that you have said earlier to verify that things are consistent. If you contradict yourself, they'll call it out because they're paying attention. And not only does that help them gain a deeper understanding, it also helps the prospect form a deeper understanding. Sometimes the buyer isn't as fully educated as they need to be to make the decision that they're preparing to make. And good salespeople who listen really well are able to pick out when that's the case and help that buyer formulate exactly what's motivating the decision and how this decision needs to be made. But more importantly than that, everything that should be considered in order to make the right choice. Number 13, they are persistent. They will consistently pursue an opportunity despite what obstacles or challenges might be in the way. The best salespeople that I know follow up a lot. They continuously find reasons to follow up. They make sure that they're engaging everybody in the organization that they need to in order to get a deal done. And they do not take no for an answer when they feel like they have the best possible solution for the prospect. Now, I know in the beginning of the video, I said I was only gonna give you 13 traits, but there's actually a 14th one here that I'm gonna slip in at the end. They have really strong tonality. They sound great on the phone or in a Zoom call. And if you wanna learn how to make your tonality even better, check out this video here.